Hi, this is a follow-up to yesterday's video update on the Spirit Keepers Tarot Vitruvian edition. Thank you so much to just the incredible outpouring of support and understanding and patience and compassion that I received. I mean, it was exactly what I needed. Thank you so much. I haven't had a chance to reply to any of the comments yet, but I read every single one, so thank you for that. Oh, just to reiterate, the only issue, the issue is just that the printing of the actual separate lids is fine. The main issue is that somebody at the factory, when they were packing the boxes together, instead of packing them right side up, they packed it upside down and mismatched. So that's really the only issue, and it's a temporary issue. It's not a permanent error, because once, in theory, once you get your package, if you get one of the mismatched ones, what you do is remove the shrink wrap, and then you just make it right side up. You rectify it yourself, and as soon as you rectify it, the problem disappears. And so fortunately, that's the only issue. It's not a permanent problem. There's no actual printing error. And yet at the same time, my manufacturer went above and beyond, and really credit should be due where credit is due. They could have just given me the middle finger or ignored me because, everything is done, but they didn't. They reached out to me and they apologized immediately. In fact, they called me immediately, and we worked out a solution to the best of everybody's ability. And what's going to happen is those who receive the mismatched box is going to receive a certificate that explains the issue, and it will be autographed and signed by me. The downside is the fastest they can get that to me is June 23rd. June 23rd is the earliest I can receive that, which means I won't be packing or shipping any of the error ones until after June 23rd. It's a temporary imperfection. As soon as you remove the shrink wrap, you can rectify it yourself. Problem gone. Nonetheless, even though problem gone, shouldn't have been there in the first place. Hopefully that's the only concern. We did a sample test, we opened up a couple of different boxes here and there and randomly selected decks to open up and check to make sure that the quality was fine. So as a deck collector myself, I do feel like the quality of production and design here delivers. It's 350 GSM cardstock, so that's significantly thicker than the mass-produced tarot decks you will find. The finish is absolute matte, and I do personally believe the aesthetics here captures an old world and timeless quality that I was trying to go for. The cardstock on the box is 1200 GSM, so it's a really nice, sturdy box. That was important to me. Sure, your box is going to get wear and tear over the years, but structurally, I aspired for it to stand up to the test of time, to kind of have that higher end quality people were used to decades ago. I mean, decades and decades ago. These days, everything is so cheap and flimsy. I really strived hard to avoid that. I wanted this to feel out of its time, Most importantly, I do feel like these decks have a discernible and distinct personality. Maybe personality is a funny word to use. Energy? Point of view? I don't know. The focus is still very much on the original pen and ink line drawings I did. I mean, yeah, the art style is still really busy, crazy detailed. More is more. But if you've ordered a deck, then this really shouldn't come as a surprise to you this late in the game. Every deck comes named, and I've come up with a list of 2,000 unique names. The names will be handwritten by me onto these certificates of authenticity, which authenticate your copy of the deck as a limited edition original Vitruvian. If you ordered the premium package, I'm going to be sending you the Book of Names, which is basically just the list of 2,000 names to satiate your curiosity. And so hopefully everything will be okay. So many of you emailed and reached out and said you'd be perfectly okay with one of the mismatched ones, and thank you for that. James said that we can't do any form of customization. there's just no way he can do that. As some of you from the first edition know, I did try very hard to accommodate to a lot of requests for the first edition because I think this deck is slightly different in its intention. Not that it's special or unique, it's just that, you know, there's decks that are because they're cute, or decks that are themed, or what have you. This one is quite particular because it's steeped in ritual magic, and that's definitively what it's all about, and unapologetically so. And because of that, I understand a practitioner's demand for transparency and for some aspects to at least resonate somewhat with their own personal gnosis or their own practices. And so in certain instances when, you know, what I was doing deviated too dramatically from their own sort of perspective, magical perspective, I did accommodate, absolutely, and those from the first edition know that. But it was a nightmare for James, and he was fuming. He was really unhappy with the way I did it. So my worker B has sort of did a little strike and was like, "There's no way he's going to do any work if I do that again for the Vitruvian edition." And so for the Vitruvian edition, he said no customization whatsoever. And so unfortunately, first of all, none of the mismatched ones will even go out until after June 23rd. So it will be sort of the later batch of orders. The early pre-orders will get all the good ones, and the mismatched ones that will come with a little letter of apology. Mismatched boxes won't even start going out until after June 23rd. And I think it should be okay. Like, oh, another funny story. I gotta tell you this story. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. In the previous video, you saw that when I opened up one box of 40, every box contains 40 decks. 18 were okay, where they were right side up, and 22 were messed up. You know, so the 22 were the ones with the mismatched top and bottom lids. As I opened up a second box, and the second box, I counted it because now when I started talking with my manufacturer, we had to figure out exactly how many of those loose apology cards we had to print. So I opened up a second box to run a count, and weirdly enough, it was the same numbers again. It was 18 right ones and 22 mismatched ones that would require the end user to rectify themselves. After you take off the saran wrap, you would have to take the box apart and rectify it and just, you know, do that. And so it's weird that happened for the second. It was again 18 right and 22 with the mismatch. And then I opened a third box to count a third box so that we could get a good healthy sampling while we projected the number of actual apology cards we would need. And it was, oh my, it was again 18 normal ones and 22 mismatched ones. So 3 boxes, exact numbering. And think about the issue. The issue was a manual and random problem where some worker at the factory, when they were packing the boxes, right? Remember, there's no printing error. It's not a printing issue. It's a packing issue. Somebody at the factory, when they were packing the cards into the boxes, what they did was, instead of putting them right side together, they didn't look at how they were supposed to be, you know. And so that's the only issue. And for 3 boxes that we opened, it was the same exact numbering, the 18 and 22 for the 40. And so I thought, and you know, 22 for the tarot nerds, obviously, major arcana. So it's really weird how it worked out. And 18, you know, it has this sort of numerological significance in Judaism, means life. And also it's a number that has always been close to my heart. 18 is, never mind. And so I thought that was really, really interesting. All 3 boxes, 18, 22. But in the end, yes, I do really have to thank the manufacturer for meeting me where I asked them to meet me, and for being accommodating and understanding. And thank you guys all for being crazy understanding. I couldn't believe the outpour of love and support. And it was exactly what I needed yesterday. So, oh my gosh, thank you all so much for that. So in a weird way, even the mistakes have been great. You know, every little thing that has happened, even when it was out of my control and in ways that really tested tested my tested my sanity. Ultimately, it worked out so well because it brought me some incredible enrichment, you know. I don't think I stopped to realize how much support and love I was getting from all of you guys. I was just so narrowly focused on the work, you know, the work, and it was all about the work, the work, the work. I forgot to pay attention and receive the love. And so that hiccup forced me to pay attention and receive the love, and it was beautiful. And so I wanted to thank you for